Here we go, and tonight we are cooking, what are we cooking, dear?
One pot spaghetti.
One pot spaghetti. It is the easy dish of the day today. Now, how easy is it, dear?
Very easy.
Very easy? I like that. What are you doing now?
Well, since we're vegetarians, I'm adapting this to something vegetarians could make, but it's very easy to make it regularly using beef, or once you tried the recipe, you could get Italian sausage and use that instead. Of course, you can use ground turkey if you're trying to watch your red meat intake, but it's best to kind of go through the recipe the first time the way they say to do it.
And what exactly, hold up, what exactly are you using for the fake meat stuff? We love the Morningstar Farms.
Yes.
Great stuff. When we became vegetarians, everything tasted like old dog food. Now it is some great tasting stuff.
Okay, I would say that you should always read through the recipe first. That's pretty basic. Most people know that. But there's nothing worse than getting started on a recipe and finding out that you're missing tomato sauce, or that it calls for half a cup of something and you only have an eighth of a cup. So read through, get your ingredients out, and make sure that you're following the directions and that you have everything. So the first thing that I need to do is to brown the ground beef with the onions, fresh mushrooms, garlic. One of our daughters hates mushrooms, and she begged me not to put that in tonight.
That would be Rebecca Catherine.
And so, since it's very late, I thought that would be just a nice thing to do so that she's not having to
Wine.
get onions out or anything like that. It's also a good idea to have a big thing of soapy water or small thing of soapy water so that you can clean up as you go along, and you just don't have that extra mess when you're done.
That was the Morningstar Farms meat, ground meat substitute stuff. We get no money from Morningstar Farms, but we love their stuff anyway.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is stir this. And according to the recipe, if you would rather, you can use canned mushrooms. There's just different things that you can do if you're in a rush, depending on how much money you want to save. You check the price on whole mushrooms compared with sliced mushrooms. All those kind of things add up. And of course, if you're in a rush, also you can have your kids helping because they enjoy cooking, and it's just really nice to have them in there with you. So while that's starting, I could have my kids in here breaking up the spaghetti, because in this recipe, the spaghetti has to be broken into pieces. It's calling for 6 ounces. This is a 16-ounce package. So I'm going to use not quite half of this.
We usually bring out the scale from the science laboratory at ASU, but tonight we're going to wing it. Is that approximately 6 ounces, dear? And there's the smile of the Irish.
Oh my. Okay, some of the things that you can do also, if you want to, this calls for dried oregano. You could always get fresh oregano and use that. I think the fresh gives a little more flavor, but we're just going to use the dried, as they said tonight, because for one thing, we're in a rush. I chopped up garlic, but the recipe also said that you can use garlic powder. So again, it's just depending on what you want to do. So I'm just breaking this spaghetti, and I'm going to check and make sure that everything is cooking well over there, not burning, anything like that. Now, because I am cooking with the Morningstar instead of regular ground beef or ground turkey or sausage, then I don't really have to worry about it being cooked. I just need to get it heated up. And so what I'm wanting to cook is the mushrooms, and of course I have the onions in there to make sure that they're going along nicely before I go on with the other stuff. Now while I'm doing this, I started preheating the oven so that I can make some French bread to go with it also. Or you could have the bruschetta that we did last night. That would be a good choice. Okay, looks like that's going pretty well. Now again, some of these things, since I'm using the Morningstar, it has no fat. So in the recipe it tells you to cook it and then drain the fat. You don't need to use that step, of course, if you're using the Morningstar. And some of you who aren't vegetarians, but you're trying to watch your cholesterol or red meat, might want to try the Morningstar in a recipe and see if you like it or not. Again, I am not pushing that. There are different non-meat products that you could also try, but this is what I happen to have and what I'm using tonight. Now, if I was cooking with the meat, I would now need to drain the fat off. Since I wasn't cooking with the meat, I did use some olive oil in the pan first so that everything doesn't stick, because there is no fat in there, okay? So I did that. I'm going to add, they call for chicken or beef broth. I'm going to use instead vegetable broth. That goes in. One can. Here goes the water. And tomato sauce. Actually, tomato paste, I'm sorry. There is a difference, so make sure you're using the tomato paste. Tomato paste obviously is thicker. Okay, so I have that all in. Okay, I'm looking here and it says bring to boiling, and then you add the spaghetti. So I'm also going to put in my spices while that's coming to a boil. 1 teaspoon oregano and a 1/2 teaspoon of basil.